This is ABC.
Up next on Eyewitness News at 10, how to keep the homeless from freezing.
People who were once turned away from this homeless shelter for drinking may be welcomed in tonight. I'm Mike Binkley, live in St. Paul. I'll tell you why.
Also tonight, how pornography could end up on the video you rent from the children's section.
And live from the North Shore, see how the winner of last year's Bear Grease could again win it. The finish line is just a few hours away.
I can't wait for this. Steve Hartman is going to take us all to the cleaners. It's coming up later on Eyewitness News at 10.
KSTP, Minnesota's News Channel 5. Now, live, this is Eyewitness News.
Homeless people walk into the Mary Hall shelter in downtown St. Paul tonight. It's the first night of a new policy allowing people who have been drinking to come inside. And it's an experiment brought on by tragedy.
So far this winter, 3 people have been found frozen to death. They've been alcoholics with no place to go.
Until tonight. So let's see how it's working. Mike Binkley standing by live outside the shelter. Mike?
Well, ordinarily, just a trace of alcohol in your breath would get you turned away from here. And really, that's for the protection of the others in there who haven't been drinking and just want to sleep. But now tonight, they're trying this experiment. Most of the people who stay here tonight will not be drunk. Sean and Cheryl Westcott, who don't drink at all, just want a warm bed. And after spending the last few nights sleeping under a bridge or in their car, they're willing to share the building with a few others who've had a few.
Well, I think as long as they are kept under control, they don't go in there and start fights or nothing like that, then I think it's okay, because this is just, the weather isn't permissible to let anyone stay out in it.
But not just anyone will be allowed inside here. The really unruly drunks will still be taken to the detox center.
We will be taking people who are at minimal levels of intoxication, who are not disruptive and not angry.
And they'll be kept on a separate floor from the rest of the population, not in a large room, but in individual rooms similar to this one. It's a 3-week experiment that they'll try on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. It doesn't appear to have caused much disruption on this first night.
I just arrived at town last week, and I'm starting out myself here, but I heard about Mary Hall, and I heard it's better for the guys to be in there, because out here they can freeze to death.
Still, there are a lot of people who believe this is not really a solution. They say there will still be homeless people dying out there in the cold because they simply refuse to seek help from the established system. Randall, Angela?
We'll have to wait and see. Thank you, Mike.
All right.
With all of the attention focused on the homeless, there is the bigger question of who makes up the homeless population in the state. A recent survey of shelters in the state showed that more than half of the people in shelters are women and children. 25% of them currently have jobs, and almost 75% of the people have a high school education.
And tonight, St. Paul police are looking for a suspect in the death of a homeless person. He was thought to have died because he was too drunk to go to a shelter. But after an autopsy, police now believe that 33-year-old Glenn Howard was attacked and then left to die in the cold. His death, of course, focused the attention on finding a place for drunk homeless people to go. We got these pictures back from our Duluth newsroom only a half hour ago. A fire that started in a smokestack damaged the newly reopened Cypress mining plant in Silver Bay. This is home video. The plant used to be part of Reserve Mining's operations in northern Minnesota. Cypress Mining had reopened the plant just last week. Took 4 fire departments 3 hours to put this fire out. No one was seriously injured, and there's no official damage estimate available yet.
Now, a couple of top stories you may have missed earlier today, including the search for a suspect wanted in a Minneapolis multiple holdup. Jackie Renner reports.
If you see this man, police want to know about it. He's the suspect in last night's holdup at a North Minneapolis grocery store. The Totem grocery stores had a string of bad luck. 4 holdups in the past 4 months. Neighbor Marie Nowak says she's afraid to let her young children come to the store alone.
We live only half a block away, but just the people that hang around here and the vandalism and the robberies and stuff, I'm not real comfortable with them being up here alone.
Police hope the vivid photograph will help lead them to the suspect. I'm Jackie Renner reporting.
This is Mark Sapelsa. This woman's attempted murder trial will force Minneapolis police to investigate one of its own cops like it never has before. It's a response to this extraordinary letter written to the police chief and mayor. The Hennepin County jury accuses an investigator of badgering the woman into an unwanted confession. The jury acquits her.
We'll probably have a better justice system out of it. Because there's probably a lot of it. If this is one case, how many other cases are going on like it?
Chief John Locks defends his force, but says for the first time, an outside party will watchdog the investigation into the investigators' actions as it's going on. I'm Mark Sapelsa reporting.
The Mankato Free Press today joined in the refrain calling for the resignation of Senator Dave Durenberger. Durenberger, of course, is the target of an ethics investigation. The Mankato Free Press says he has become, quote, a pariah among his colleagues. Durenberger says he's shocked and amazed by the editorial. Sometime this weekend, we'll probably know if this racetrack will have new owners. Negotiations on the sale of Canterbury Downs are taking place in Philadelphia with a group of investors, and we'll let you know if they reach an agreement tomorrow on Eyewitness News.
And also tomorrow, workers will begin dismantling a St. Paul landmark. So tonight, one last look at the Midwest Federal tree. It's coming down because the company now known as Midwest Savings no longer has an office in the building.
It'll be strange not to have that there, won't it? Tomorrow or sometime this weekend, you may be among those Twin Cityans renting a videotape. A recent survey we did shows more than 3/4 of all of us own a VCR.
But what if the children's tape you rented had pornography on it? There have been several cases reported of it happening.
Carolyn Brookter shows us now how some Twin Cities outlets are on the watch for this.
Adults aren't the only ones watching videos these days, so are children. The owners of this Mr. Movies video store in South Minneapolis say children's videos account for about 25% of their rentals. But in a recent case in Connecticut, a tape labeled Cinderella turned out to be hardcore porn. Michael Schultz has 2 young children. He feels distributors have a responsibility to make sure that things like that don't happen.
Would you be pretty outraged if that happened?
Absolutely. I think it's safe to say we'd take action if anything like that ever happened. I think it could be very damaging to a child.
Owner Tricia Kaiser-Gu says there have been some mix-ups, but never porn since the store doesn't sell those kind of movies. She admits there are no guarantees that some of the video will not be on a tape, but she says they try to safeguard against it.
I don't know that it could ever happen in my store in particular. We don't carry pornography. We don't believe in adult tapes. And secondly, we also make it a point to check and recheck the movies as they go out.
And so the best safeguard seems to be for parents to either check the tape themselves or watch them with their children. Carolyn Brookter, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
And if you find a case like this, report it to the store you rented it from.
Still a lot of news to tell you about tonight, including the new space picker in orbit tonight. There you see it. When will they bring home their cargo? Plus, racing for home on the Bear Grease Trail. A live report on who could win it in record time tomorrow morning. And some tough sledding due to icy, slippery roads. Dave Dahl has that in the weekend forecast.
But first, a big weekend celebration. This Monday marks the birthday of civil rights leader Martin Luther King, and here in the Twin Cities, the celebration has already begun. Today, hundreds of St. Paul students and teachers put on a musical tribute in honor of King, and fittingly kicked off the event with the national anthem.
And there are plenty of other celebrations going on this holiday weekend. Tomorrow, students at Willow Creek Junior High School will hold a youth forum. Then on Sunday, it's the 9th annual Martin Luther King Jr. concert sponsored by the U of M. And on the final day, a rally at the state capitol to be followed by a peace march to Central Presbyterian Church in St. Paul.
Many school districts, like the St. Paul Public Schools, have no classes Monday. Last year, some Woodbury students walked out in protest of having school on King's birthday. We found out tonight that partially in response to that protest, Woodbury will have no school this King holiday.
And you know, we couldn't go without showing you a piece of history King is really most known for.
Of course, his famous speech made more than 20 years ago in Washington.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
What a sight over Fort Bragg, North Carolina today. A billow of light green parachutes filled the sky. 2,000 U.S. paratroopers made a triumphant return home. Their tour of duty in the Panama invasion is over. That's our top story as we look at news around America tonight.
Next, we move to West Palm Beach, Florida. 4 people were arrested tonight by the FBI. They're believed to be members of the Irish Republican Army, and they were arrested trying to buy a heat-seeking anti-aircraft missile. The FBI isn't saying what they plan to use it for.
What a sight it was in space today. The Columbia astronauts successfully snared this 11-ton, well, you'll see it in a minute, 11-ton science lab. There it is, that's been floating in space. They got it while moving at more than 17,000 miles an hour. And tonight it is stowed away securely in the Space Shuttle's cargo bay. When the shuttle lands on January 19th, the science lab will be taken to Kennedy Space Center for study.
Well, for those of you who have stowed away the Christmas decorations, there may still be one more thing to take care of: what to do with the tree. Well, if you live in the McAllister-Groveland neighborhood of St. Paul, bring it out to the curb tomorrow. A group of Boy Scouts will collect trees and have them shredded instead of taking up space in a landfill. The wood chips will be used by the University of Minnesota, and the Scouts will be collecting the trees from 7 a.m. until 4 in the afternoon. Dave,
good for them.
Should they bundle up, or will it be pretty nice out there?
No, it's going to be very, very nice. We've got another stretch of very mild weather for this time of the year heading in this direction. Yeah, we've got great weather.
We're halfway through January already, you know?
And the winter's just about over. The eastern and the western parts of the country, though, do have some weather to talk about, and quite a bit of it. As a matter of fact, we just saw a tease of a bus sliding down a hill. That happened to be in western Pennsylvania. Thankfully, there were no children on this bus, but the roadways were slick there thanks to 3 to 4 inches of snowfall. It's been rain, though, out in the west. That snowfall ending there, up to 16 inches, though, parts of Lake Erie. And out in the west, Sacramento, California, deluged by over an inch of rain. Much needed moisture, though, for northern and central California. From there all the way up through Washington and Oregon, they could expect 2 to 3 more days of wetness as a very slow-moving storm system continues to trudge in this direction. That storm, a close look from the satellite's point of view, shows it pushing the moisture in across Oregon, across northern California, into the western parts of Nevada, and that moisture then will change over to snow. Heavy amounts of snow are a possibility in some of the higher elevations of the central Rockies. As we take a look at our view from the satellite, you can see that there are some high thin clouds already working their way through the eastern Dakotas, but for the time being we have clear to partly cloudy skies now over Minnesota. All the snow that's been falling over the southern edges of Lake Erie could get 16 inches in portions of northwestern Pennsylvania. They still have winter storm warnings for them. Outside right now, here in the Twin Cities, though, with a clear sky, our temperatures at 12 above, the dew point 3 above, 67% for the relative humidity, a west wind at a light 5, and the barometric pressure is now rising at 30.33, clear skies. Today's high temperature made it up to 22. That's 3 above the average for the day. 12, that is the current reading. That is the low for the day, and a trace of snowfall. We had some light flurries just after midnight last night. Temperatures are expected to warm up again across the upper Midwest. Highs into the 30s and 40s across the western Dakotas. Looks like upper 20s for here in the Twin Cities tomorrow, getting very close to 30 degrees. Well, with the recent warm weather, there are some Minnesotans that are testing out the ice tonight.
Okay, does this mean the skating's all done for this year, this warm weather?
I'll give you the answer to that coming up with the forecast next.
Still ahead on Eyewitness News, Eagle Scout Steve Hartman tries to reunite a man and his dry cleaning.
He dropped his coat off at the Norm Cleaner in Minneapolis on June 22nd, 1972, and I was just wondering.
Clear skies and lighter winds are allowing the temperature to drop off tonight. 12 above right here in the Twin Cities. Single digits just up to the northwest as close as St. Cloud, 7 above. But up there in Bemidji, 0 right now, 8 below over in War Road. And that's thanks to clear skies, a little bit of snow on the ground still up in northern Minnesota. But we're expecting to see that temperature warm up tomorrow thanks to a huge area of high pressure. Forecast map shows that sinking southward, allowing a southwest warmer wind to flow up across Minnesota. High temperatures getting very close to 30 tomorrow afternoon. Out to the west, that's just the leading edge of that moisture, which will be working its way in our direction. Could give us some rain or snow by Monday right here in the metro. The forecast for overnight tonight, though, mostly clear. It will be cool, 0 to 5 above. Northwest winds at about 10 to 15. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning, starting off the weekend with a sunny start, but a chilly one. Won't feel too bad with light winds, 5 above. In the afternoon, we warm up close to 30 with partly cloudy skies, so that means a lot of sunshine. Saturday night, the clouds increase. And with that, 15 to 19 for overnight lows. Then on Sunday, mostly cloudy skies, maybe even some light rain or snow entering our forecast by late in the afternoon on Sunday, highs 28 to 32. Then comes the good news. We do need the moisture. Monday and Tuesday, a chance of rain or snow first, then all snow on Tuesday as the colder air seeps on into Minnesota. Highs only in the 20s, it looks like, there on Tuesday, but warming right back up on Wednesday to near 30 degrees. Our 5 weather facts tonight deal with the driest spots in the world, not just here in Minnesota.
The world.
Thanks to how dry we've been, well, the world's lowest average annual precip is 3/100 of an inch in 1 year. That's Arica, Chile. Well, in Iquique, Chile, has the world's longest period without rain. Get this. Boy, would this be a drought. 14 years.
No rain.
No rain. Africa's lowest annual average precip is 1/10 of an inch at Wat Hafa in the Sudan. And Europe's lowest average annual precip is 6.4 inches in Astrakhan, USSR, the driest year of record for the Twin Cities, quite a bit above that 3/100 of an inch,
Makes us feel better, doesn't it?
11.59 in 1910. So it has been dry here. Looking back at yesterday's forecast, just to see how we did, mostly sunny skies and no snow in the forecast, and we hit it today with high temperature climbing. I believe we had 22. That should actually read there. They put the sunny
But you
skies.
hit it all anyway.
We did hit it all.
You get to keep your job for another day that way.
Thanks, man.
Of course, who can forget the strong winds from yesterday? Some Minnesotans will still be cleaning up the damage all this weekend, like churchgoers at St. Stephanus Lutheran Church in St. Paul will meet Sunday to decide what can be done to repair the church. The strong winds knocked the church's facade down. The church is planning to rebuild. And then if you're like the unlucky owner of this ice house tipped over tonight on Tanner's Lake, you may spend the weekend fixing it up. DNR says you are also responsible for cleaning up any debris. Blew it right over, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Minnesota Gophers are skating against Colorado on the indoor ice tonight.
And later, Mark Curtis will show us at least someone's on a roll in the Twin Cities, certainly not the Timberwolves. Next, we're going to go live, though, to the North Shore for a Bear Grease race update.
The record-setting finish could be just hours away.
The mushers in the John Bear Grease race are almost home. They've struggled against high winds and icy conditions throughout the 475-mile journey up the North Shore from Duluth to Grand Portage and back. A truly difficult marathon.
As the mushers are heading for the finish line, 3 contenders are running neck and neck. Vern Halter, Dee Dee Johnroe, and Susan Butcher left the last checkpoint within minutes of each other, and it's not clear who's leading right now.
They're all from Alaska as well. It won't be clear until the mushers reach the Highway 2 checkpoint, and that is near Two Harbors.
And that's where Jason Davis joins us now live via News Star. Anyone in yet, Jason?
Not yet. You know, we're only 25 miles from Duluth. The end of this race is coming up fast, and as you said, 3 top Alaskan mushers are fighting it out on their way to this checkpoint. Among them, a woman who's trying to repeat an earlier triumph.
This was the scene in Duluth 12 months ago when Dee Dee Johnroe won the 1989 John Bear Grease race. And now, in 1990, it looks like she could do it again. Throughout the race, this young woman has been among the 3 leaders. Today, she ran in second place for many hours, but tonight stole the lead by a few seconds from Susan Butcher, a fierce competitor who loves to come to the North Shore of Lake Superior for many reasons.
Can't catch 3 hours on this trail.
When she's in northern Minnesota, Dee Dee takes the opportunity to spend time with best friend Cindy Anderson. And as the 2 young women window shop along Superior Street, few would realize that Dee Dee is one of the world's top sled dog drivers. At her home in the tiny village of Willow, Alaska, she has a kennel of nearly 90 dogs. It's a far cry from Duluth.
And I like to shop. I really do. And I work, you know, in the summer I'm in the fishing industry, so I'm away from home a lot in the summer and not someplace where you get the opportunity to enjoy a town.
Dee Dee Johnroe is 36 years old, married, and has a bachelor's degree in biological sciences. This is one busy lady.
Yeah, 89. You know, I left on Iditarod the 3rd of March. I spent 5 days at home after Iditarod, 4 days at home after being in Seattle for 6 weeks. Then I went fishing, and I didn't get home until first part of August. So I was really glad to get home.
You getting tired of traveling?
A little.
The first one in here will have a heck of an advantage. They have to spend 4 hours here to rest their dogs. That's mandatory. They'll be the first one out, and of course it's only a short run to Duluth. They expect to be there between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll have, of course, a full report on our news tomorrow night at 6.
Sounds like it's anyone's race of the 3 there, yeah. Thank you, Jason.
Be fun to watch tomorrow, won't it?
Coming up next in sports, the Gopher hockey team rolls to another big win.
Unfortunately, we can't say the same thing about the Timberwolves. Mark Curtis has highlights coming up next in sports.
This week, turn...
Well, we commented on Mark's tie at 5 and 6 tonight. You got a little pizza on it. It looks even better tonight. That's good.
Thought I had Scotch guarded that.
Impressive.
On to sports now. Okay.
Impressive win for the Gophers tonight at Mariucci, playing against Colorado College. Brad Bueto's team, and they really did all their damage early. It was already 1-0 just 20 seconds into the game, and then seconds after that, Trent Klatt scored on the rebound for a 2-0 Gopher lead, and the game wasn't even a minute old. A couple of minutes later, the Gophers playing shorthanded. Grant Bischoff to Pete Hankinson right in front. Gophers over Colorado College 8-4.
Yeah, well, the team played really well. We came out from the start, and the puck went in the net, and we're just having a lot of fun out there. Things are going our way, and hopefully things keep going.
Everyone's sparking each other. I think it doesn't matter who's getting the goal. Let it be Peter Hankinson, Scott Bloom, Bischoff, usually the big scorers, but everyone's sparking each other, and we're gelling together well, like I said.
The Timberwolves in a game seen earlier tonight on Channel 5 limped into Detroit, wondering, I'm sure, with the way things have been going for them, just how ugly it would get. But first half, they looked great. On the break, Sam Mitchell with a John Elway pass to Tony Campbell. Wolves up 33-31. Second half, Pistons come back. Isaiah Thomas, watch the move underneath. Off the glass, Detroit back on top by 2. It continued to seesaw back and forth. Randy Brewer with a turnaround, sort of a skyhook. Wolves by 4. Maybe they could win it, but maybe not. Joe Dumars, top of the key, won't go, but Dennis Rodman is there for the follow. Pistons pull away and win it. 97-86.
John Elway played football.
Maybe. I'll check that out. NFC, AFC championships coming up this weekend. If you go with the favorites, it'll be San Francisco and Denver in the Super Bowl. I don't know. I kind of like the Dogs. I don't know why. They're playing at Denver. 3 out of the last 4 years, these two teams have met, and 3 out of the last 4 years, Broncos have won the game. But hey, maybe it'll be different this time around.
No, it's going to be difficult down there, and I tell you, we'll be totally prepared for all the noise problems down there. Our offense is prepared for that. We won't have the problem Pittsburgh had last week, and defensively, they'll be quiet, so we'll be able to make our checks and audibles.
But it's going to be even tougher this week because we know that the AFC Divisional Championship is on the line, and they're going to be ready to play. So are we. It's going to be a tough ball game.
49ers, I could be wrong, but I don't think anybody's going to beat them. Rams have had lots of bad luck in these playoff games. In fact, they've suffered most of their playoff losses to the Vikings, believe it or not, including the game in '76 where the field goal was blocked in return. Remember? Bobby Bryant for the touchdown. Then the Vikes Mud Bowl victory, which was quarterbacked by Bob Lee. Have things changed for the Rams?
Playoff games in the past, but I don't think we went into those games with as much confidence as we have right now.
Got a special offer for you tonight. Actually, every Friday night from here on out, we're going to be offering you a chance to vote for the Channel 5 City Line Spotlight Player of the Week. Get out a piece of paper and a pencil. We'll give you a number to call, 645-6060, and then punch 5555. It's a free call. You get to pick one of these 3 athletes to vote for. First of all, Gopher guard Melvin Newbern, who scored 27 points last Saturday and helped lead the Gophers to a win over Illinois. North Star winger Mike Gartner, who this week was named to the All-Star team for the 5th time. Or Gopher freshman goalie Tom Newman, who had 2 victories against Denver. Remember, call 645-6060, punch in 5555. We'll give you the results Monday night. Let me give you some scores. NBA, Cleveland 113-102 over Philadelphia. San Antonio beats Boston. New York over Indiana. Chicago over Charlotte. The Clippers leading Milwaukee. NHL, Detroit trailing Winnipeg. St. Louis leading Vancouver. Montreal over New Jersey. And Pittsburgh comes in with a win over Washington. Boys high school basketball, Edina hammers Cooper. Minneapolis North beats Washburn. And it was Highland Park over Johnson. Finally, I know this may be painful for many of you to watch because we've still got 3 months at least before we can think about golf. But today in Tucson, David Frost came within 1 shot of tying the all-time PGA record. Shot of the day, though, came from a local pro, 22-year-old Robert Gomez. This doesn't feel great when you make this kind of a shot, does it? He's at 12 under, Frost at 14 under after shooting a course record 60, a round that included 2 eagles and 9 birdies. He's tied with Jay Haas. By the way, do you know who holds the all-time record at 59? Al Geiberger. Back in '77. Many people, I'm sure, know that.
Angela knew that. Thank you, Mark.
Well, this is
Who's Al Geiberger?
One some dry cleaners get steamed about. Steve Hartman tries to iron out a few problems for the people who forget their dry cleaning. Next.
Tony's out of time.
It's 10:30. Do you know where your clothes are? Not the ones
personal, aren't
Not
you?
the ones you're wearing. The ones you took to the cleaners last week or last year. Or had you forgotten?
Would you believe a lot of people do forget? As you'll see in tonight's Heart of the Cities, here's Steve Hartman reports on cleaners who have been taken to the cleaners.
The Norm Cleaners promises same-day service. Its customers don't.
They should. We hope they would, but they don't.
Harold Sobel says sometimes his customers just forget their clothes. And even though up on his wall he's got one of those signs that says not responsible for goods left over 30 days, it doesn't mean much, as you'll see, down in the basement.
Now, watch ahead, please.
Down here behind lock and key and a big old-fashioned fire door is row after row of clothing.
Just watch your head now.
I don't know why he keeps saying that. Must think I'm a klutz.
Watch it.
Anyway, these are clothes no one's ever claimed. Some for good reason. A lot of it's ugly. Actually, most of it's ugly. And all of it's old. Look at the tags. No starch hangers, pick up on Friday. What Friday?
4/21/84.
Harold says this is a problem for most dry cleaners. Legally, they're not supposed to throw out anything, and Harold isn't one to break the rules.
72.
72?
Uh-huh.
A man named Sam Sachs left that coat there 18 years ago. I checked the address, but he doesn't live here anymore. Moved to Detroit. So as a favor to Harold, I tracked him down. I know it's only one coat, but hey, it's a start. Sam wasn't in the office, but I left a message for him to come and pick it up.
I'm sorry, you say he dropped off his coat?
Yeah, they have it cleaned.
Okay, his coat at the Norm Cleaners?
Yeah, the Norm Cleaners.
Uh-huh.
In Minneapolis.
In Minneapolis.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and that was in 1972?
1972, yeah.
Okay.
She said she'd tell him, but I don't expect he'll stop by. Neither does Harold.
The style is pretty old.
He says no one's ever claimed any of this stuff and probably never will. He just wants you to always remember where your clothes are and always watch your head.
Watch it.
Steve Hartman, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Curtis left his tie there, but Harold tracked him down and gave it back. He didn't even keep it. See ya. Have a good weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Start the
The other side's convention. Ready, Big Daddy? 3, 2, 1. The first thing most pro-lifers saw when they went to check in tonight is pro-choice supporters who had strategically placed themselves at the entrance to the hotel. Bill Baird is one of the ones out front. He's a nationally recognized... Let me try that whole thing again. Sorry. 3, 2, 1. The first thing most pro-lifers saw when they went to check in tonight is pro-choice supporters who had strategically placed themselves at the entrance to the hotel. Bill Baird is one of the ones out front. He's a nationally recognized pro-choice advocate who makes it his habit to protest the other side's convention. 3, 2, 1. But pro-lifers say their convention is purely informational and they can't imagine a violent confrontation. 3, 2, 1. The hotel management is so confident the protest will be peaceful, they claim they haven't taken any special... let's try it again. 3, 2, 1. The hotel management is so confident the protest will be peaceful, they claim they haven't taken any special security precautions. Uniformed police, they say, might only provoke confrontation. Can I try that one more time? All right. 3, 2, 1. The hotel management is so confident the protest will be peaceful, they claim they haven't taken any special security precautions. Uniformed police, they say, might only provoke confrontation. Damn it. Let me try it one more time. 3, 2, 1. The hotel management is so confident the protests will be peaceful, they claim they haven't taken any special security precautions. Uniformed police, they say, might only provoke confrontation.
Left and you're the only one down. Yeah, but 11's coming. What? Yeah. Where's the platform? Walk that one.
Is about this water safety piece, which is written now. Hey, you might, he's a good guy to know over the holidays. You might have him give you a call if there's any, like, water accidents or anything like that. Yeah. Well, level check. Here at the Kelly family pool, the kids and their friends spend a lot of time in the water. All set? Okay. Cut one, take one, 3, 2, 1. Here at the Kelly family pool, the kids and their friends spend a lot of time in the water, and Lynn Kelly is always supervising, even if the children know how to swim. 3, 2, 1. This home video shows how fun at the pool can turn tragic in a flash. A San Jose, California toddler disappeared into the murky water of this backyard pool. The child was missing for several minutes. It was a frantic battle against the clock to find him. 3, 2, 1. The child miraculously survived but suffered permanent brain damage. Every year, more than 300 kids under age 5 drown in backyard pools. Thousands of others go under but later recover, often with brain damage. In most cases, the problem is a lack of adult supervision. 3, 2, 1. Remember, always have an adult supervising children. Make sure there's a barrier, a fence with a self-latching gate to keep children away from the water. Don't totally rely on life preservers because children may slip out of them in deep water. And make sure you know CPR. A few very basic precautions can make sure this summer is a safe one at the pool. John Wingate, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, I just you did. Ready? Okay. Okay. Sergeant Mack, tell me what you have. Discovered who?
Railroad train come through and the crew called us.
Any indication that there might have been foul play?
At this time, no. There's no indication at the present time.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
How long ago?
About the time your cameraman showed up.
Oh, really? Because he didn't even know it was gone and he was still waiting.
He was up here. Yeah. Are you familiar with this area?
Not
Okay, well, there's another way in. That's the way to get it out. That's the way we've had to go in and out. Helping the railroad. They're assisting us.
Yeah, the chief was telling me it's real muddy down.
Yeah, and they're using one of their little maintenance trucks to bring everything back and forth. It's about, from the roadway, it's about 3/4 of a mile to where the bridge there.
And we're operating a much leaner management team so that we can accommodate more salespeople on the floor. That's what the customers were asking for, and that's, I think, what the biggest difference is. In the past, as Donaldson's, we did not get involved in the community. We would not donate a $25,000 check to the Children's Miracle Network. This year, for example, we raised $39,000 on the Father-Child Fund Run for Big Brothers Big Sisters. In the last 9 years, we had raised $95,000. So there's a considerable focus of attention that we want to be an active part of the community. And as well as the fact that our advertising, how we advertised before as Donaldson's, we'd give you coupons, like going to the supermarket, and everything was a 15% coupon. Well, that may be great back in 1985, but back in 1988, you're still doing the same percentage off, 15%. That's not a value any longer to the customer. You know, the customer is looking for something that's going to be a true value, and that's part of the program for us with our advertising. When we advertise something, we're going to go into direct mail. If you're one of our customers, we first take care of our customers that are our charge customers, and we send the direct mail pieces to them. And as Michael was saying, we back it up with the ROP advertising. And I think it's very critical to let the customers know what's going on in the store. And as Donaldson's, we did not do that. As Donaldson's, we did a tremendous amount of inserts into the Sunday paper, and that sufficed our business. We'll do inserts, we'll do the ROP, but we have a strong core for the direct mail pieces, and also if we do separate mailers, like in the men's department, or in kids, or in petite sportswear, that we have a method to track you coming into the store, and as we have special events, then we'll be able to notify you of the events and notify you of the fashion shows and notify you of the special mailers. That's something that we didn't do before.
Anything special with the credit cards, a different interest rate or anything like that?
It'll be what the prevailing rate is right now. That's really regulated by the state.
Would we see any serious price wars then, or?
I think it'll make it more beneficial for the consumer, because again, our price points are very reasonable, and this strategy has already had 4 years worth of testing in the Chicago market, and as is the whole advertising campaign. As you look through the samplings, you're going to see from 1984 to present, the logo, the theme song, the high energy that Michael's talking about is consistent. So we're giving a very strong message to the customer, and that also means that the price points and the advertising and the value is going to be there for them. As far as the customer, I think they're going to be in a great situation because they're going to have a good choice. And we referred to ourselves as the little D because of the folks across the street. And you've got the big D as Dayton Hudson, and we were the little D as Donaldson's. Even our associates told us that. And so that's why it's time for the high C, and that's how we're kicking in our campaign.
Tell me this, without just fall short of coming up with an actual name, who specifically, Joe Customer, are you going after?
Well, we talk about that moderate to upper moderate price point. Age-wise, we're looking at that 25 to 40-year-old customer, 44-year-old customer, anywhere from $25,000 to $65,000 in income. And the irony is that already in the first 6 months of operation, we have increased our average household income of our shopper just by some of the surveys that we have taken, and we have expanded the age base. We as Carson's go after the younger customer. We go after the high school kids, we go after the college kids to get them to come in and shop in our store. Donaldson's never had an interest in that. They stayed away from that customer base.
You gotta switch tapes.
Get the counseling. I have a nephew right now that's fighting to keep his 2 children in St. Paul. His ex-wife's boyfriend had abused the child, hitting him with toys and belt buckles and so on and so forth. The court told her that the boyfriend is to stay away from the child. What does she do? She goes and picks up the children, and the boyfriend is there. So you see, your system doesn't work. You say this, you say that, you have your rules, you have your regulations, but you don't even follow your own rules and regulations. When the court said for this man to stay away from these children, that's what the court should have meant. And when the father called and reported it, that he's by these children again, instead of the court saying, there's nothing we can do. Do something. And put people in the social services that care about children, not people that are qualified to be there or have a degree to be there. And if you have to go across certain guidelines to remove children from the home, then change those guidelines. Only you have the power to do that. I don't. Change them so that if a child is being abused, no matter to what degree, the child can be taken from the home.
Representative Dempsey, I believe.
Stop. I'm going to